was I thinking when I came up with the angry video game nerd? Well, I associate most of my earliest memories with playing video games. This is footage from my 8th birthday, playing Nintendo for my first time. I had no idea that 18 years later, I'd be playing the same Nintendo on the same TV and with a cyber world known as the internet, where a legion of fans eagerly await my next angry game review. What a lot of people might not know is that I'm a filmmaker, so actually more of a movie nerd than a video game nerd. My website is cinemassacre.com. The name can mislead one to think that I only do horror movies. While I'm a big horror movie fan, especially classic horror films, I make all kinds of movies. Everything from documentaries to music videos, goofball comedies, animation, whatever. The name Cinemassacre refers to the style of filmmaking that I've created for myself, which massacres cinema, just defies traditions, doing whatever I want. It can also mean to go crazy making movies, like I'm on a Cinemassacre rampage. All I ever did was make movies because that's what I enjoy doing. I just love to entertain people. Counting this documentary, this is my 150th film you're watching. And because I make films so quickly, a lot of them have a very rushed production quality about them. But there's also ones like The Deader the Better, which I've spent a couple years on, really put a lot of effort and money into, building a cemetery in my parents' garage, making all kinds of bloody special effects. But amongst the quicker films that I make, usually the ones I spend a week or a month on, there's all kinds of spontaneous ideas, and one of them happened to be an angry review of an old Nintendo game, Castlevania II: Simon's Quest. It's a classic game from my childhood, but I thought it would be funny to brutally critique it, to actually pick on all the negative aspects about it. While in real life, I like the game to a certain extent, but in the review, I pretended that not only do I hate it, but I'm pissed off and I can't get over it. Like, why would anyone bother to complain about a game that's so old, and why would they still be playing it? Well, that's the whole joke. And during the course of the video, I felt the need to swear to lend a little more authenticity to how angry I was. And little did I know it would become a trademark of the character yet to come. After that, I felt like making another one, but this time I picked on a game that really deserved it 100%, and that's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Out of character, I can still say that it's truly one of the worst games I've ever played. This video actually took it a step further. It was meant to push the joke all the way by actually putting myself in front of the camera this time and warning the viewers to stay away from this game. I don't even show the game much because it's so horrible and I don't even want to look at it, and when I finally do show it a little bit, I just point the camera at the TV screen and leave it all crooked. You see, my character, he didn't want to take any extra effort to conduct a proper review because he just didn't think the game was worth it. This isn't really a review at all. It's actually more like a comedy experiment. Like, how over the top can this guy be about how he hates this game? And the cursing went way out of control, which, it's true, you don't have to curse to be funny, but I think I can't escape it now. He's just one of those characters. Well, because I was appearing on screen for the first time, I decided to wear a white-collared shirt to fit the generic stereotype of a nerd, and the idea of drinking beer came about because I felt the character needed something to soothe the pain, and again, it was a joke that the game was so bad it caused me to drink. This, just like the swearing, became a trademark of the character. The choice of beer was Rolling Rock, because that's what I happened to have in my fridge at the time, but now it's also a character trait, and I'm actually listed on Rolling Rock's Wikipedia page. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde video was actually meant to be my last, because it was the nerd's most hated game, and this was the finale. The two nerd videos ended up on part of the Cinemassacre Gold Collection, an old-school VHS set that I made containing most of my best films, as well as some obscure ones. And for the next 2 years, this would be the only place that they'd be seen. In the spring of 2006, due to popular demand, I finally decided to do another one. It was The Karate Kid, another arguably bad Nintendo game. For this review, there is more emphasis on stimulating the gameplay experience of trying to beat the game and failing miserably. This video was a hybrid of the two that came before, acting in front of the camera and also showing the game. Throwing an exploding controller, cursing in slow motion, spitting on the game, these were all things I did to bring something new. And another thing that was new was the beginning title. The Angry Nintendo Nerd Presents. This was the first time the name was used. So I made the 3 videos available on my site to watch, calling them the Angry Nintendo Nerd Trilogy. And this is how it all started. People thought it was hilarious and they wanted to see more, which is the best thing any artist can ask for because I got more. I have tons of ideas. It's just a matter of what ideas I want to focus on. So by the end of the summer, all my focus on Cinemassacre projects have been put into Nintendo Nerd videos. And even though they require a lot less filmmaking skills than what I usually do, ironically, they're bringing in a lot more fans because they really struck a nerve with the whole video game community. The Ninja Turtles review was the first one that was released by ScrewAttack.com, and by joining them, it really brought me a lot closer to the gaming community, and they've been very enjoyable to be a part of. I started putting more effort into the videos, and I got my friend Kyle to perform a theme song.
You know, I heard that, James is a good friend of mine, so he told me about the Angry Nintendo Nerd or the Angry Video Game Nerd and how people seem to like it. So I said, let me try to write a song. We basically used most of the stuff he said right in his segments in the reviews, and we used that as the lyrics, and we just put some music to it. And then the song just came out of that. We just experimented with a couple different feels, a couple different styles. Thought of bar chords tend to be like catchy types of chords on the song, and I thought Green Day does a lot of that. Well, a lot of people do a lot of that. So it's kind of got that punk, emo, a little modern rock thing going on for it,
He's the angry video game nerd. He plays the worst games of all time. Horrible abominations of mankind.
For the new song, we'll just record it live and then maybe a little EQ, but there won't be that much production. It's going to be real. It's going to be organic, And because of this song, my career is going down the drain. Because you people have forced me to sing about diarrhea.
Channel 3, he's got a nerdy shirt and a pocket pouch. Although I've never seen him write anything down. He's got a power glove and a filthy mouth.
James is a bastard. I mean, he's like a slave driver. He's got me he's got like a collar around me. No, I'm just kidding.
So because I knew I had so many people watching, I was starting to itch to get back to some filmmaking to kind of make a bigger production out of some of these videos. My first chance was Friday the 13th. At the time, it was perhaps my biggest request, and because Friday the 13th was coming up in October, the timing was perfect. Being a horror movie fan, I have a great Jason mask. It's autographed by the man himself, Kane Hodder, and Betsy Palmer too. So I thought, why not use the mask in the video? Or even better, make a little story out of it. Jason's basically pissed off that I'm talking bad about the game, just like a certain crowd of people on the internet who hate me. There's actually people out there who take everything the nerd says literally. Like, they don't understand I'm acting, and they're also offended that I'm picking on all these old games. So they're the real angry nerds. So Jason in this video represents those people. Now you have the other group of people who not only love the videos, but they're inspired to make their own, and often use analogies or phrases that I've said in my videos. Now, I'm really flattered by all this, honestly. But they all get a huge negative backlash by people calling them Angry Nintendo Nerd clones. That's what made me think to literally clone myself in the Nightmare on Elm Street review. Having dialogue with myself was really fun to do, but the more special effects I do, the longer it takes to finish the video. Both the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street videos, they took a lot of time to do, and they're my most elaborate right now. And some of them will be like that, and some of them will be simple. They're all different. When I do a review, I do them however I think they should be done. Maybe a pickle jumping around saying, "Shit, pickle." Maybe throwing Hadoukens at the TV. Maybe crapping on the game, which was really peanut butter and chocolate syrup. But, I just come up with whatever I think would be new, and it's hit or miss. I don't always know what people are going to think, but I always try to change up what I'm doing. Sometimes it's hard for me to know if it's funny or not. But then I see somebody else get mad at a game and I think, yeah, it is funny. Just the fact that you can get pissed off at this electronic thing that just sits there, like the game doesn't care. So in real life, I get angry at games a lot. And I think a lot of people do. So that's what it's really about. The Angry Video Game Nerd, it's dedicated to anybody who's ever gotten pissed off at a game. I just want to say that I appreciate the fan base and that I do read your comments on MySpace and your emails and everything, but it's just impossible for me to respond to everybody because I get so many. And remember that this isn't my full-time job, so it's really hard to do all this on the side. Although my goal is to someday make this as a full-time job, to continue making these Angry Video Game Nerd videos, and hopefully get back to some big Cinemassacre projects as well. Like I have tons of ideas, tons of scripts, feature films, short films, all kinds. So by buying this DVD, you definitely are helping me out, and I thank you for supporting me. And I also thank all the game designers who made all these games, or else I wouldn't have anything to bitch about. So I'll see you next time.